Today we wrap up the regular season here in year number 6 of the Chicago White Sox franchise here on MLB The Show 25. And today we find out if the White Sox end up making it into the playoffs. It's going to be an uphill battle. We're 2 games back at the final wild card spot, but it's been an uphill battle all year. We were 18-31 at one point in the month of May and have battled back. We have 12 more games, all of which are against teams under 500. We were okay in the last episode ending August to start September. We have won 3 series in a row, including beating Detroit on the road, and we took 2 or 3 in Cleveland, which is a big deal because they are the number 1 team we're competing with. We played this first game. We ended up winning 7-2. Great start by Noah Schultz. Offense did their thing. Game 2, very high scoring. We won 8-6. Schneemann with 4 hits. Yuri Perez was good enough, despite 2 homers from Anthony Santander. And then game 3 was nuts. We played the final 4 or 5 innings of this game. It was crazy. We ended up losing 10-9. We had some chances. We scored a couple runs in the 11th. Cam Smith robbed a 2-run homer by Travis Bazzana in the bottom of the 11th. But George Valera hit one just a couple pitches later to tie the game. And then Cleveland ended up winning it in the 12th. I guess it would have been Julio Puig who hit the walk-off. Pitching really struggled in this game. Hagen Smith got the start. He was not good. This will be his last start of the year. He will be taken out of the rotation. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. As we look at the standings as a whole, the Red Sox have already clinched the AL East. AL Central is a dogfight. Now, it does look like Detroit's going to win the division, but us, Kansas City, Cleveland, all going for those wild card spots. Rangers lead the AL West. Mariners right now hold the number 1 wild card spot, so chances are the loser of the AL West gets the top wild card spot. And then really, I think we're looking at 3 teams fighting for 2 spots for the second and third wild cards. And right now, we're the odd man out. Over the next 12 games, we'll need to jump Cleveland by 2 or Kansas City by 3. The Mets have already clinched the unserious NL East. The Phillies, who won back-to-back World Series, might lose 100 games. The NL Central is crazy. The Cardinals are the only team out of the race, and they're not even that bad. And then the Giants should win the West. I kind of think the NL playoff race will be a collision course with them and the Dodgers, who are probably going to be the number 1 wild card. And then Pittsburgh, Chicago, Arizona, and Cincinnati battle it out for the final 2 spots. So both wild card races in both central divisions look really competitive. As we take a look at where the team is going into the final stretch of the regular season, we're going to need everybody to step up collectively because we're going to be without our best player, Kyle Teal, for the rest of the way. He got injured in the very last game of last episode against Cleveland early in the game. He broke his hand and will be out for a month or 2, so he's done for the regular season. And if we make the playoffs, knock on wood, and go on a run, it's unlikely we'll see him, but I decided to not put him on the injured list just in case he somehow became available at some point during the postseason. I want to be fully prepared to have him healthy and not have to wait till the end of the series to bring him back. Rather, if we're in game 2 of the World Series, we can have him return. Now, obviously, a lot needs to happen for us to make the World Series, but hypothetically, Hagen Smith has not had a good year. He has plateaued in his development, it feels like. He will be removed from the rotation. We're going to replace him with Bryce Wilson, who's been a lot more steady than both Smith and Jagger Haynes. Framber Valdez has been good. Hayden Wesneski has been good. Noah Schultz has been solid. Bruno Merced, the rookie, has become the closer. He's been unbelievable over the last month and a half. I think he's had 1 bad game since the start of August. Ezra Valenzuela has been recalled up, and he's actually doing reasonably well. He's had some stinkers in there, but over his last 10 games, he's only allowed 1 homer, and he has a strikeout-to-walk ratio of 22-1. So a lot of the advanced metrics suggest that he might start to look like the Ezra of old. I feel like Bruno Merced should be in the Rookie of the Year race. He's not. But Barney Wagner is in first place. He's having a great year. WAR at 3.5, competing with another former White Sox first-round pick in Martin Burt, who was our first-rounder the year before we got Wagner. We used Burt to get Bryce Miller from Seattle, and then they traded him to the Angels. So we start with the Orioles, and I will play this first game against Baltimore because Luis Robert and Ketel Marte will both make their return to Chicago. Luis Robert is a legend with the White Sox, but the wheel might have saved us by not letting us extend him because this looks like it might be one of the worst contracts in baseball. His WAR, which has been consistently above 6 in this series, is only at 2. Contact is worse. Power is worse. Walk rate is worse. Strikeout rate is up. Defense is worse. Every single aspect of his game has regressed significantly, and this looks like it could be one of the worst contracts in Major League Baseball. A big reason why the Orioles, who have been really solid throughout much of the series, and honestly were pretty good early in the year, are now 67 and 82, and an afterthought in the wild card race. Shane Schmidt hitting .417 over his last 6. Mike Trout hitting .365 over his last 48. That's nuts. But Framber Valdez, I feel like, has been the story for us in the month of September. I was a little concerned about him through the month of August. He wasn't pitching well, and I was worried, maybe it's because he's old. He's like 36 now. But over his last 3 starts, he's looked a lot more like himself. He's 3-0, 1.86 ERA, 1.14 whip. He'll be on the bump today against another former Cy Young winner in Kyle Bradish. 2 really high-level arms battling it out. We have 12 games to catch up in the AL wildcard standings. We are playing from behind. It's not going to be easy. Our schedule is a lot easier than both Cleveland and Kansas City's, but we've got catching up to do. Anything less than 8-4, 7-5 would be a failure. As we take a look at both lineups, of course, no Kyle Teal. This is our first game without him. Framber Valdez on the bump for the White Sox, his 31st start of the year. The 2-time Cy Young winner is 14-7, 3.04 ERA, 1.18 whip for the Southpaw. Ketel Marte returns to Chicago. He was on our team last year as he goes down on the sinker. Marte was very solid a year ago. Wasn't great in the playoffs up until the very end against the Phillies. Arjun Nimbala lines it to first over the glove of Shane Schmidt for a single into right. And an early base runner here for Baltimore with 1 away. We'll see if they can do some damage. A well-deserved standing ovation for Luis Robert. It wasn't an ugly breakup. He left because our owner's a cheapo. We wanted to keep him around, and I think he wanted to stay. And I'm sure he wishes that he was still here given his struggles in Baltimore. 2-1 pitch on the way from Valdez is low outside. They call it ball 3. Luis Robert was here for a decade, the face of the White Sox franchise through the struggles, all the way up to the World Series run a year ago as he swings and misses at the circle change, and the count is now full. With 2 away, runner goes, and Lou Bob launches it into left center field like old times, La Bandera, 433 feet to put the Orioles on the board first, his 13th of the year. Maybe the key for Lou Bob is that he just has to play in this ballpark, and maybe he'll be magically good again. Luis Robert, his first home run back in Chicago, his first at bat back in Chicago, as Schmidt blocks it off the bat of Mayo, unable to get it to first in time, even though he was falling on his backside. An infield single for Kobe Mayo. A good effort, though, by Shane Schmidt. Anderson de Los Santos, the 2028 Rookie of the Year, grounds it to second. Ramos makes the play. Throw to first is in time. A lot of recent Rookie of the Years in this game. Edgar Caro won it in 2027. Shane Schmidt won it last year. And hopefully Barney Wagner is going to win it this year. Kyle Bradish, the 2027 Cy Young winner, has not looked like that title. His ERA is nearly at 5. Speaking of Rookie of the Years, we're hoping Barney Wagner can seal the deal, win the award, and that certainly won't hurt. A leadoff single into right field and an early base runner for the White Sox, who already have some catching up to do, trailing 2-0 with the homer by Luis Robert in the top half of the inning. 1 away, Edgar Caro. That one goes into the opposite field. It will roll to the wall, could go for extra bases. We're going to hold Barney Wagner at third. We don't want to do anything reckless. It is just the first inning after all. But now we've got runners on the corners and a big opportunity here for the former Oriole, Mike Trout, who hits it high and certainly deep enough to score Wagner from third. Now we know Luis Robert has an awesome arm. The throw to the plate is a good one, but it's not in time, and it's dropped by the catcher. But Wagner would have been safe anyway. A 2-1 lead now for the Orioles. Mike Trout brings in a run off the sacrifice. Corey Julks splits that one into right center field, into the gap. That'll score Edgar Caro, and this game is tied at 2. So these two Cy Young pitchers are really not looking the part. They each allow multiple runs here in the first inning. A quick start for both offenses will move top 2. Lefty on lefty, although Brandon Lau is better against lefties than he is righties. Swings and misses, though, at the slider. Filthy pitch. Low and outside from Valdez. He would get through the top of the second pretty quickly. We'll go bottom half. Colson Montgomery draws a walk, and that gives the White Sox an early base runner to open up the inning, looking to add to the lead perhaps. Brian Ramos getting the start. He has certainly not been as good here in the second half of the year as he was earlier. He was our best player through the first month and a half when we were really struggling. One of the few guys trying to keep us afloat as he goes down. Good pitch by Bradish. Barney Wagner back to the top of the order. Base hit and scored his first time up. 3-1. Looks at the inside slider. Another walk. And we've got 2 on, 2 away. Big opportunity upcoming for the number 2 hitter. That being Shane Schmidt. We're having him hit a little higher in the lineup today. His average nearly 250, which given where it's been for most of the year is honestly a win. But he grounds out to short. The play is made by Arjun Nimala. We'll go into the third. No score change in the second. We're still tied at 2. We'll see if Baltimore can look to regain the lead. Arjun Nimala up here with 1 away. The 1-1 for Valdez. And this one is set nicely into center field for a single. Dane Myers gets to it. Nimala is actually going to go for second. Hold on a sec. He's safe. It's a double. Wow, I thought he was going to hold up at first, but a good hustle by Nimala, the former first-round pick of the Blue Jays. Now at third, 2 away, Luis Robert homered his last time up, strikes out this time. It was the inside slider that he homered back in the first inning. Valdez goes to it again for a much better result as he whiffs on the pitch. His strikeout rate has always been high, but this year even more so. What a play at short! Nimala, the throw to first is in time. Off the bat of Edgar Caro, an incredible defensive play. 2 away now for Corey Julks. He finds himself behind the 1-2. I don't know what he was swinging at. Outside, way low on the slider, and he gets fooled anyway. We'll go top 4 now. Kobe Mayo. The 2-2 from Framber Valdez. This one is hit towards second. Ramos blocks it, and there will not be a play at first. He just lobs it over to Schmidt. Another infield single for Mayo. He's got 2 of those today. Framber Valdez is really starting to struggle. Brandon Lau rips it into the left center gap. That'll score Mayo most likely. Montgomery's throw to the plate is certainly not in time. Runner scores standing. That's actually De Los Santos, who reached off of a fielder's choice. And Brandon Lau makes it 3-2. Luis Torrens now up for Baltimore. He goes down on the circle change. Much needed pitch by Valdez, looking to get back into a groove. He's played so well as of recent, but today, not so much. Garrett Martin, 3-1, draws a walk, and the struggles continue for Framber Valdez. Has not been his day. Ketel Marte, hey, that rhymed. Call me Dr. Seuss. Flies it into center. Dane Myers will come away with it, and that'll end the fourth. Orioles regain the lead. Brandon Lau with an RBI double, and so it's 3-2. Our offense looked really good early. They've been awfully quiet since. Colson Montgomery with 1 away is up for Chicago. Walked his first time up. Swing and a miss on the high sinker. Bradish really starting to get rolling here for Baltimore's third punch out of the game. Brian Ramos 2-2. Weak dribbler over to second. His former teammate, Ketel Marte, will make the play over to first. And it remains 3-2. We don't even have a hit since the first inning. Couple of walks, but that's it. Arjun Nimala leads off the top of the 5th. He goes down on the curveball. That pitch was way low. Would have been ball 4 if he let it go. But I guess a good pitch by Valdez. It clearly worked. Jarren Duran now draws a walk on the high fastball. So one of the faster runners on the Baltimore roster is aboard with 1 away. Luis Robert is back up. Lou Bob rips it into right, and it's just barely foul. That probably would have scored Duran, I feel like, even from first. Now 1-2. Up the middle. Lou Bob gets his base knock anyway. Duran around second. Digs for third. And the Orioles have runners on the corners with 1 away, and we've got a decision to make. Framber Valdez has not looked his best, but he is the ace of the staff, and I believe in him to get us out of this jam. Mayo, dribbler to short. That one stayed in the air, actually. Colson Montgomery's got it for the second out of the inning. Anderson De Los Santos now up for Baltimore. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the high inside fastball. So Chicago chooses to be aggressive. They keep Valdez in the game, and it pays off as it remains 3-2. Orioles still on top of the White Sox. Shane Schmidt up with 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Looking to get something going here for our offense. It's been tough sledding. What was he swinging at? Sinker in the dirt. That one is on the ground. And the Orioles make the play. We still have not gotten a base hit since the first inning, by the way. As Edwin Uceta will come out of the bullpen for the White Sox in the 6th. 5 innings, 3 earned for Valdez. Not his best. Able to get out of a jam, though, in the top half of the 5th. Keeping the lead at 1, so I suppose it could have been worse. Brandon Lau, swing and a miss on the inside cutter. I thought about keeping Valdez in. Normally, for a regular lefty, I probably would keep him in for one more. But, again, Lau is better against left-handed pitching. Garrett Martin clobbers this one into left field, and that one is gone over the bullpen. 402 feet, 5th home run of the year for Martin, and Baltimore adds to the lead. It's 4-2. Ketel Marte now up for the O's. Behind 1-2, and Marte goes down on the cutter. Uceta allows the homer, but no further damage. We'll go bottom 6. The Orioles make a pitching change as well. They'll roll with Brian Baker. 69, nice innings this year. 3.89 ERA on the season. He's been perfectly serviceable. Some notable storylines across the league. Yordan Alvarez currently holds the National League Triple Crown with the Mets. We'll see if he can hold on. Edgar Caro will draw a walk. That one gets away. It won't matter. He let it go anyway. So a leadoff runner for a White Sox team who needs to add some more. Mike Trout goes down on the 12-6 curveball. We still don't have a base hit since the first inning. That's embarrassing. Corey Julks, 1-2. Julks on the ground. This should be 2. Marte, Nimala, to De Los Santos. 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. And our offense is delivering a stinker right now. And it was looking so promising after that first inning. Ezra Valenzuela out of the bullpen here to open up the top of the 7th. He's definitely been better since being recalled up. Has not been perfect by any stretch. But we're making progress. Baby steps. We don't want to be making baby steps in year 3 for our 2-time All-Star closer, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess. We have another young All-Star closer in Bruno Merced. Jarren Duran with a single. Luis Robert, 2 for 3. Duran digs for second. Throw from Caro is a bit high. Duran in with a stolen base, and there's a runner in scoring position for Luis Robert. His clutch rating has always been worse for what it's worth than his contact versus righties, and he goes down on the fastball. 2 punch-outs today for Lou Bob, but again, overall, a good game. He has 2 hits, 2-run homer included amongst that. Kobe Mayo over to third. Wagner fields it cleanly. I've been really impressed by Barney Wagner defensively this year. His defensive ratings really are not that good, but he's given us really solid production at both third and short. 2 hard positions to play. Give him credit. Robert Garcia out of the pen for the Orioles here in the bottom of the 7th. The lefties had a really good year, 2.77 ERA. Cam Smith leads things off, 3-1. That one is hit into the opposite field, and finally, our first base hit since the first inning. It's been way too long, but the offense is finally alert. We've got a runner on with nobody out. Oswaldo Escobedo immediately puts it on the ground. 5-4-3. This team is hilariously on brand. The second we get a base hit, he's immediately out as they turn 2. Lovely. Daniel Schneemann off the bench. Hits this ball high and deep. Into right center at the track, at the wall. It's caught by Luis Robert. I thought we were going to get a pinch hit home run for Daniel Schneemann. Lou Bob just does not look right in those colors. That just still feels wrong. Anyway, into the 8th, Brian King out of the pen for the White Sox, 2.21 ERA. A fantastic addition via trade from the Astros for Cody Hosey, who's been okay this year in Houston, but he's been largely hurt, which isn't really a surprise. He was hurt every year he was with us, as he allows an early single to Brandon Lau. See, Brandon Lau hitting well off of the lefty once again. Garrett Martin homered his last time up, puts it on the ground. Waldo's going to get the 1 out at first since there were already 2 outs to begin with. Good inning for Brian King. It remains 4-2. Can the White Sox light any kind of spark? The offense has been dead for the last 6 innings. We hit the ball really well in Cleveland, too. Those 3 games, I don't think we scored less than 6 runs in any of them. Roansy Contreras is out of the pen for the Orioles. He will pass the 100-inning threshold today, assuming he gets 2 outs. ERA right at around 3. All aboard the Dane train! Dane Myers! That one is gone into the White Sox bullpen and left, and we are within 1. 377 feet for Myers, and all of a sudden, this game got real interesting. His 19th homer of the year, and the lead is within one. I kind of talked about it in the last episode, but I feel like Dane Myers has been the unsung hero of this team. We needed a Luis Robert replacement. It was a little risky to sign a guy who at 34 years old has finished a season with a WAR above .2 just once, but he's been really good for us. Wagner strikes out. Edgar Caro goes down looking. Man, I thought that was a ball. I feel like the umpires for like the last year have been unbelievably generous to us with these calls, but I don't know about that one. Tony Santillan out of the bullpen here in the top of the ninth, quietly having his best year with us, 3.04 ERA. Although Marte rips this one into center, and that should go for extra bases. Myers trying to field it cleanly, misplays it at the wall, although Marte will only settle for a double. It's kind of crazy to think about the fact that Santillan was just sitting in free agency the first month of the regular season, because remember, we did not originally sign him back. We did because Brock Burke got hurt and we needed a replacement, and he's a guy who we were already familiar with. As Luis Robert draws a walk, his third time on base. 2 on, 2 away. Kobe Mayo evened up at 2-2. Got him looking. Santillan gets out of the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. It's a one-run game. Now, the Orioles have a really good closer who should be able to get the save, but there's a chance he might gamble the game away. It's Emmanuel Clase on for the save. 38 of 41 in save ops, 2.36 ERA. We got to see his good friend Luis Ortiz in the last episode with Cleveland, and he had some very suspicious pitches against us. His former teammate Mike Trout, swing and a miss at the high heat. Cutter comes in at 99. We had Clase in the Guardian series in 22, the Marlins series in 23. We know how filthy he is. Julk slams the bat in frustration. De Los Santos makes the catch in foul territory for the second out. And so it'll come down to Cam Smith, who always finds himself in these high leverage spots. Got him looking on the slider. The Orioles win the first of three by the score of 4-3. For a team who's currently playing catch-up in the standings, obviously this is not the start that we were hoping for. Luis Robert's return to the South Side was a successful one for him. 2 for 4, 2-run homer in the first, drew a walk as well. Really impressive game from Lou Bob. Martin goes deep as well, 11 hits, 3 walks for Baltimore. Kyle Bradish with the win, he was solid. Our offense just did not get enough base runners. Over the final 8 innings of the game, we had 2 hits. We did have a home run from Myers. We were good in the first, but that was about it. Farmer Valdez was not great. Bullpen did what they could, but it was not enough. And we've got some work to do now with just 11 games left. Both Kansas City and Cleveland had an off day, so we only lose half a game on both of them. But now, we've got to get through the rest of this home stretch. Our final regular season home games of the year. 2 against Baltimore, 3 against San Diego. The Padres, like Baltimore, a talented team who's just been kind of disappointing this year. In terms of Cleveland and Kansas City's schedules, Cleveland has Detroit twice, along with Minnesota and Texas. That's really tough. The Royals have Seattle, who's really good, competing for a wild card spot, but then it gets easier with the Blue Jays, Angels, and Athletics. I still think our schedule is the easiest of the group, but we've got a lot of work to do. That starts with Game 2 against Baltimore. We're down 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th. Bases loaded. Montgomery rips it into left field, at the track, at the wall. It's caught by Jarren Duran, and that ends up being the difference. We lose Game 2 as well, 5-4, and our margin for error, which was already low, is quickly slipping. I said I felt like we needed to go 8-4 today. We're already 0-2. Not a good start. Now, in this game, we got more base runners than Baltimore. We just didn't capitalize with those runners. We had 11 hits, 4 walks. We had 2 RBIs from Schneemann, 2 for Crawford, but we had the bases loaded there in the 7th and kind of blew it. We won the last game against the Orioles, so we avoid the sweep, and now that brings us to this series here against San Diego. This is Game 1. Bottom 9, tied at 3, first and second, 1 away. Schneemann bloops it into center field. That will go for a hit. Now, we're going to hold the runner, Cam Smith, at third. He obviously wanted to be cautious in case the ball was caught in the air in center. But now we've got the bases loaded, 90 away from home. Just please do not put the ball on the ground, Justin. I beg of you. That should do it. He rips it into right. It doesn't matter if it's going to drop or caught, and it will drop. Off the wall, Cam Smith will score, and the White Sox walk it off. Justin Crawford, the hero. Cam Smith, the game-winning run. And after losing the first 2 games of the episode, the White Sox have now won 2 in a row. And now we're starting to get into a little bit more of the groove as the fellas pose for the cameras, and the vibes are once again a little bit higher in Chicago as we win the first of 3 against San Diego by the score of 4-3. It was looking a little bit ugly for a while in this game, but we scored in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings to come back and get the win. We were down 3-1 during the stretch, but we scored in each of the next 3 innings to pull it off. Braxton Garrett pitched well, bullpen not so much. Schmidt, Crawford, Julks, all with homers. Crawford, of course, at the walk-off. Shout out to the bullpen. They were terrific. All right, game 2, tied at 1, top of the 9th, 2 away. Bruno Merced had a chance for the save, and he was unsuccessful. But we're going to keep him in here. He's been our best reliever this year. I believe in the kid to get us out of the jam. It's Ethan Salas, who he will face off against. Salas behind in the count, 1-2. The talented young switch-hitting catcher. That one gets away from Edgar Caro. Both runners advance. And there are runners in scoring position. A base hit could bring in 2. We're still going to roll with Merced. The 3-2 on its way. And he draws a walk. The bases are loaded. We're going to keep Merced in for one more at-bat. It's Dominic Fletcher, the former White Sox. He was here in Season 1. First pitch of the AB. This one is grounded to second. Waldo makes the play. So we went into the inning with the lead 1-0. Obviously, it's not ideal that, we still have to play. The game's not over. But it could have been worse. The Padres leave him loaded, and we would walk it off in the bottom half. Barney Wagner, a 2-run shot. The Rookie of the Year frontrunner looks to put an exclamation point on the award. 3 straight wins for the White Sox. Although the real star of the show in this game was Bryce Wilson. 8 shutty. He allowed 2 hits, 1 walk. That was it. Merced allows a home run to Fernando Tatis Jr. in the top half of the 9th, but he's able to get out of the jam and get the win. Minor league seasons are over. AAA misses out in the playoffs. AA did not do well in the second half, but since they won the division in the first half, they will go to the playoff. We won the last game against San Diego 7-0, so we get the sweep. Framber Valdez, 6 scoreless. Love to see it. We started today 0-2, but since we've won 4 in a row. However, we have lost ground in the playoff race. The Royals and the Guardians each went 5-1. Cleveland's won 5 games in a row. Way to help us out, Minnesota. The Royals took 2 against Seattle and swept Toronto. So with 6 games left, we're 3 back of Cleveland, 4 back of Kansas City. The Guardians still have to play the Tigers and the Rangers, which will not be easy, although both of those series are at home. The Royals get to play the Angels and the Athletics, though, which is not that hard. So we've got to make up 3 games on Cleveland or 4 on Kansas City. Certainly an uphill battle. We've got to start strong here against the Yankees. Game 1 on the road, top of the 7th. Runner at third, 1 away for Justin Crawford. The margin for error feels like it's at 0 at this point, as that one is scooped on the mound by Mark Leiter Jr. for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Crawford again in the 9th. He has a hit streak on the line. This one will stay foul into the seats. Game, as you can see, is still tied at 4, so another chance to really break things open here. There are 2 outs, though. The 1-2 from the lefty, Austin Cox. Swing and a miss on the 12-6. So the Yankees have a chance to walk it off here in the bottom of the 10th. And normally in these end-of-game alerts, if I simulate to the end of the game, this will be the last play. But if I hop into the game, it might not be. So my thought is maybe by hopping in, we're not going to allow the walk-off hit, and we can keep the game going, perhaps. Jazz Chisholm is up. Tony Santillan on the mound. This one is flown into center. That's my ball. Crawford is under it. He will make the play. Runner will look to tag up to third, but this play won't necessarily end the game. I was right. So by choosing not to simulate to the end, but instead entering the game, it kept us in it. Otherwise, we would have lost. Now in the bottom of the 11th, it's the same thing. We're going to hop right back in. Aaron Judge is up for the Yankees, looking to be the hero against Tony Santillan, who is still in the game, with Connor Norby, the big trade deadline acquisition, at second base. Judge rips it into right. Okay, this one might actually end it. Norby's actually going to hold it third, maybe not. Okay, so there's runners on the corners, nobody out. I'm a little worried about this one. The bases are now loaded. Edwin Uceta has entered the game. Luis Campusano, the catcher, is up. If he hits the ball somewhat solid, that could end the game for the Yankees. who are hanging on for dear life in the playoff race themselves. They have like a 0.1% chance, but I suppose a chance. As Crawford makes the play, we're going to send it home. It's not going to matter. The Yankees walk it off 5-4. A game-winning sacrifice fly off the bat of Luis Campusano. And for a White Sox team who really can't afford to lose the rest of the year, not a great start by losing the first game. Offense kind of choked. I mean, we had opportunities in the 10th and the 11th innings. Hayden Wesneski was not great. He has not been great for a while. Bullpen did really well. It's hard to blame them. So let's make matters even worse. Not only did we lose this game, Cleveland wins, Kansas City wins. Not good. But there's one beacon of hope. Seattle is starting to struggle. And we're still only 3 back with 5 games to go. The Mariners being the closest team to us now. Game 2 against the Yankees, we're up 4-0. Shane Schmidt has homered twice. He's at 31 this year. Bailey Falter, the former White Sox, does not want to pitch to him. I don't blame him. He draws a walk. Carroll with an RBI single. It's now 5-0. The 2-2 from Mark Leiter Jr. Swing and a miss. Shouldn't matter, though. We should still get the win. But obviously a big, very steep hill to climb. We have to come back 3 games in a 5-game set. Realistically, we've got to go probably 4-1 or 5-0. And then we need Seattle or Cleveland or Kansas City to struggle. We're 5 back on the Royals, so we would need to win out and we would need them to lose out. Cleveland, they're up by 4 on us with 5 games to go. Shout out Noah Schultz, though. 7 scoreless innings. The Yankees had 1 hit and 1 walk. Noah Schultz is playing out of his mind as of recent. He has been excellent. And if we still have a chance during that final series against the Nationals, we may need to switch Hayden Wesneski's start to be Noah Schultz. Both the Royals and the Guardians lost. This day really could not have gone any better. The Mariners lost as well. So now we're looking to win this series. The AA team is moving on in the playoffs to play against the Pensacola Blue Wahoos in the championship series. And then we beat the Yankees in the 3rd and final game, 3-1. Really good pitching game again. Yuri Perez, his best game as a White Sox in his final regular season start with us. Cleveland lost. Kansas City won. The Royals are officially in the playoffs, so they are now irrelevant to us. They're up by 4 with 3 games left. The Mariners won as well. So we are 2 games behind Cleveland and 2 games behind Seattle with 3 to go. The Mariners play the Dodgers. That's obviously a really tough series. Cleveland plays the Rangers. That's also going to be tough. Whereas we get to play the Nationals, who had the worst record in baseball. Now, we're on the road. Seattle and Cleveland are at home. And it's obviously a steep hill to climb. We have to make up 2 games within a 3-game stretch. Let's start with Game 1. We win 3-1. A good way to open things up. Shane Schmidt, 3-run homer. Bryce Wilson, great outing. The pitching, I feel like today, has been really good. Cleveland lost. Seattle lost. So a perfect day 1. And all of a sudden, we're really in striking distance of one of these playoff spots. We're only within 1 game now of Cleveland and Seattle. Game 2 against the Nats, we win 3-0. The offense does enough again. Colson Montgomery with a homer. Valdez, 5 scoreless. He finishes his season with a 2.91 ERA, outdueling Hunter Green. Cleveland lost, and Seattle lost. So the first 2 games of this series could not have gone any better across the board. It's a 3-way tie with 1 game to go. I know for a fact we would have the head-to-head tiebreaker over Cleveland. I'm not sure if we would over Seattle. So basically, this last game becomes a win and in, and we're going to roll with Noah Schultz, not Hayden Wesneski. Over Schultz's last 3 starts, 20 innings, 3 runs allowed. He's been playing some great baseball. We looked like a dead man walking. With 5 games left, we were down by 3 games. With 3 games left, we were down by 2 games. But now we have a shot to clinch a wild card spot with a win today in this final game against the Nationals, who at 61-100 can clinch the worst record in baseball. So Cleveland won, Seattle lost. So if we win, is us and Cleveland is the 2 wild cards. If it's a loss for us, then we're tied with Seattle. I would have to check the tiebreaker. I feel like we didn't do that well against the Mariners. So I would think it would be win and in, lose and out. So the stakes could not be any higher. We've got our best 9, or at least our best healthy 9, getting the start. Travis Sakura on the bump for the Nationals. We're going to treat this like a playoff game across the board in terms of the substitutions, in terms of our pitching usage. we're going to kind of throw everything at the wall because it is an elimination game for us. This is a playoff game, in a sense. Barney Wagner gets it started with a single into left. Still the front runner for the Rookie of the Year, looking to seal the award today, and more importantly, help lead his White Sox to a playoff spot. Justin Crawford 1-2. That one is blooped into left for a base hit. 2 on, nobody out. Great start to the inning, great start to the game. We're trying to set the tone here. We've won 4 in a row. Pitching's been great. Offense has been a little lackluster, though. We've only scored 6 runs in the 2 games against the Nationals as Edgar Caro strikes out. Shane Schmidt, the 2-1. Schmidt's average all the way up to 257. Up the middle, base hits. Wagner around third. He'll score. Crawford to third. He's safe. 1-0 lead. Shane Schmidt with the RBI single. Some early run support for the red-hot Noah Schultz, who's been outstanding over his last few starts. When the lights are the brightest, Noah Schultz seems to pitch his best. Minus Game 7 of the World Series last year, allowing the 2-run homer to Harper. Cy Willie, liner to third, right in the glove of Colson Montgomery. 106 off the bat, but it doesn't matter. David Yan up for the Nationals. This one is crushed into left. Jolks at the track. It goes off the wall. David Yan into second with a double, and the Nats have a runner in scoring position with 1 away. They used to have some really good hitters in the middle of this lineup, like James Wood and Kyle Manzardo, but they've been traded away in the past recent trade deadlines, both in our division. Thanks a lot, Washington. As Walker Jenkins, the cleanup hitter, part of that James Wood deal, grounds out to first. Shane Schmidt makes the play, 1-0 lead. Not a bad start for Schultz. Into the second. Montgomery over to third, a nice scoop. And Travis Sikora gets out of the inning quickly, 1-2-3. That's Brady House, the former first-round pick, making the play for the Nationals. We'll go bottom 2 now. We'll see if Washington can look to tie the game. It's House leading it off. And that one gets by the diving glove of Schmidt into the glove of Smith for a single into right field. Runner aboard here to open things up for the Nationals. Seaver Canyon, another former first-round pick. Count is even 2-2. Got him looking on the 89-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball. Didn't come in super fast, but it fooled him. I think he thought that pitch was a bit high. Nasim Nunez now, the 1-2. This one is hit into center. The sweeper up and in. Great pitch by Schultz. Crawford makes the play. Not a bad start for Noah Schultz. He's allowed a couple of hits, but no one's scoring so far, which is the important thing. And we'll move into the third. Justin Crawford is up for the White Sox. Crawford hits this one well into left center field. This one will bounce off the wall. Crawford with a 1-out double. If we can add some insurance runs, that'd be a big deal, given that I'm willing to be very strategic with the pitching. Hayden Wesneski is available if we need him. We're certainly willing to throw anything at the wall in terms of the guys in the bullpen. Edgar Caro with a liner into right. Now, we kind of thought there was a chance that ball would be caught. So, the runner, Crawford, barely makes it to third, let alone having a chance to score. Runners on the corners for Shane Schmidt. He's driven in the only run so far today, looking to bring home another. This one is hit well into center field. This ball is going to go off the wall. 2-0 White Sox. Caro will stop at third. An RBI double for Shane Schmidt, who's driven in runs in each of his first 2 at-bats of the game. And the White Sox are in business with a chance for more. We've got 2 runners in scoring position and only 1 out for Mike Trout, who's finally starting to struggle. His average has gone way down over the last couple of weeks. Although he hits this one well into right field. And that one will one-hop off the wall, scoring both runs with no problem. It's a 4-0 ball game. 2-run double for Mike Trout, and the White Sox are in business. The Mariners, meanwhile, watching this game, knowing their season hangs in the balance of the worst team in baseball getting a win. Julks draws a walk. Sikora is yanked out of the game. He'll be replaced by Jackson Rutledge, another former first-round pick who hasn't really panned out with the Nationals, but he's stuck around at their organization for like a decade at this point. Cam Smith got him looking. Good pitch. Rutledge has himself in quite the jam. 2 on, 2 away. Real opportunity for us to blow the door open. Doesn't quite happen. Waldo goes down looking. I don't think he went around, but I think the pitch was in the zone. White Sox get 3, though. Shane Schmidt brings in a run. Mike Trout brings in 2. Cooper Pratt to short to start the bottom of the third. A nice scoop. by Barney Wagner. I mentioned it earlier in the Orioles game. His defense has been a major pleasant surprise for us and a big-time development in his game. A big reason why his WAR is almost at 4. Cy Willie down the line, a fair ball. That one will go for a 1-out single. Top of the order looking to do some damage, put the Nationals on the board, play for pride, play through their friends in Seattle, I guess. David Yan into right. That one's going to fall, his second hit of the game. So there's 2 on, 1 away. This feels like it could be Washington's best chance to put themselves back into the game. Walker Jenkins on the ground with 2 away. Schmidt scoops it and tags the base. Schultz gets out of the jam, and it remains 4-0. Not a lot of offense in this series. Again, we've only scored 6 runs, but the pitching's been brilliant. We've only allowed 1 so far. Bryce Wilson and Framber Valdez, some great starts. Bullpens look great. Schultz doing his thing here in the 3rd game as Barney Wagner gets a hold of this one into left. He seals the Rookie of the Year race and looks to seal a playoff berth for the White Sox. In the biggest regular season game of the year and arguably of this series, the offense has really come to play. I say arguably because we were in a similar scenario in Season 4. Remember against the Rangers in Game 162? We ended up losing that game, obviously missed the playoffs as Colson Montgomery catches the high fly ball to end the bottom of the 4th. Noah Schultz is also pitching his tail off. He's been great today. Corey Julks flies out to right, quick 5th inning. As we travel to the bottom half, a reminder of these standings. The Royals finished the year as the number 4 seed. They finished with a record of 88-74. The Guardians are 86-76. We're 85-76. The Mariners are 85-77. If we win this game, I think we would play Kansas City in the first round because we would probably jump Cleveland, given that we had the head-to-head tiebreaker, at least I assume, given that we went 5-1 against them over the last 2 months. Nice strikeout by Schultz. 2 away now for Cy Willie. 3-2. This one is hit well into left. Julks makes the play, and the White Sox are 4 innings away from completing what we thought was impossible 50 games into the year by making the postseason. Colson Montgomery, 3-2 here, 2 away in the 6th, and he lets this one rip into right center field off the top of the wall. Not quite enough carry to get over, but he slides into second for a double. The offense has been quiet since the homer back in the 4th by Barney Wagner. Good to see some energy again, and Wagner's back up, swings at a pitch he should not have. A rare bad swing decision for the talented young infielder from the University of Texas by way of the Netherlands, as it is caught by the shortstop, and we will head to the bottom half of the frame. No reason to take Noah Schultz out. He's been terrific. Now, let's say we do win this game. We're probably going to want Schultz in that wild card series, realistically, for a Game 3 if it gets to that point. But I'm also just kind of focused on winning this game. I don't want to blow this. I want to make sure we get to the dance to begin with. He allows a single early in the inning. Now Walker Jenkins. That one gets by Oswaldo Escobedo. And there's 2 runners aboard for the Nationals. For now, we're going to stick by our guy as Brady House is up for the Nats. 1-2. Swing and a miss on the sweeper. Good pitch by Noah Schultz. It's now Keibert Ruiz, the young catcher. I guess he's not young anymore, but he grounds this one over to short. Wagner fields it cleanly. Throw to first is in time. Schultz gets out of the jam. It's still 5-0. 3 innings away from making it back to the postseason. We're right there. We can just taste it. I know those fans in Seattle must be feeling antsy right now. Angel Zerpa out of the pen here in the 7th. One of the few bright spots for the Nationals this year. 2.65 ERA. Shane Schmidt checks his swing. Looks like he went around. Zerpa gets through the inning quickly. We're going to stick with Schultz again. He's been on fire over the last few starts. Why take him out? We've got the hot hand. Let's keep it rolling. Seaver King strikes out. Now Cooper Pratt, 2-2, 2 away. Got him looking on the high fastball. 7 shutty for Noah Schultz in Game 162 with the season on the line. What a game for the young lefty. We're not going to keep him in for the 8th. I don't want to completely kill his arm. In case we do win this game and have a Game 3 in the wild card round, we're going to need Noah Schultz available. Brett DeGoose is out of the bullpen here in the top of the 8th. That is one hell of a name. 4.81 ERA, 2-2 for Cam Smith. 2-1. Grounds it to second. Quick inning for the Nationals as we go to the bottom half of the inning. I really don't want to blow this game, so this might be a little risky given his inconsistencies. But I'm going to bring in Ezra Valenzuela. I wouldn't mind getting him a little bit more reps before the postseason because, well, we're going to need him to produce in a potential playoff run. 67 in a third innings this year. ERA has gone down to the mid-4s. He's playing some really good ball these last couple of weeks. With our season on the line during these last 4 series, he's played really well. Now, on the single, Barney Wagner slid awkwardly. He has to come out of the game. He'll be replaced by Schneemann. Kurt Christian now flies this ball into left. If it's fair, it's gone. And it is. It's 5-2. Things are starting to go south now for Chicago. He led up the 2-run homer. Ezra Valenzuela back to struggling. Christian's 8th of the year. And then Barney Wagner on the previous play getting hurt. Not the guy we can afford to potentially be without going into the postseason. Walker Jenkins goes down on the curveball. Now Brady House is up for the Nats. Behind 1-2. Ezra looks to get him with his signature pitch. The up and in, or I guess in this case, up and out cutter. Christian does homer, though. It's 5-2 going into the 9th. Matthew Liberatore, the lefty, is out of the bullpen for the Nats. ERA is exactly at 4 in around 92 innings. Waldo leads us off, the 2-2, and Oswaldo Escobedo singles into left field. I want to add some insurance. We've got the rookie, Bruno Merced, ready for the save, but I just want to be sure. Well, we're not going to get that insurance. Crawford goes down to the high fastball. It's a 3-run game going into the bottom of the 9th. The standout rookie, Bruno Merced, who will cross the 100-inning threshold if he records at least 1 out, looking to get his 6th and biggest career save. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up as Barrett Ruiz strikes out. There's 1. 2 outs away, and we're going back to the playoffs. We just need 2 more. Seaver King, the 1-1 from Merced. Liner into center. Crawford's got it. 1 more out. Early in this season, it looked impossible. We were 18-31, 13 games under 500. Playoffs were an afterthought. But these guys did not quit with a fly out into left from Nassim Nunez. Corey Julks will make the catch and send the White Sox back to the postseason for a 2nd straight year following our Game 7 World Series loss a season ago. The White Sox have a chance to defend our American League pennant and make a run to the World Series. The MLB playoffs is unlike other sports. It's not like college football, the NFL, or the NBA. Any team in the postseason can get hot and go on a run. You could argue we're one of the worst teams in the playoff field this year. That does not matter in the slightest. It's an entirely new game. We're going to have a 3-game series coming up against probably either like Kansas City or Boston. And it's just the best of 3. Who wins 2 first? Noah Schultz, 7 scoreless. He was awesome. Wagner, of course, with the homer. He got injured, though. I'm a little nervous about that. Travis Sakura did not pitch well. Their bullpen did. Our offense really struggled after like the 3rd inning. So Wagner suffers a flexor strain. It's not a long-term thing, but it could keep him out for the wild card round, which is not good. We need his contact, his plate skills, and his defense, finishing the year with a WAR of 4.1. That's really impressive. So I don't know what his status will be for this series. If we do get out of the wild card round, he should be good to go after that. But we'll see. 86-76. We're headed to Kansas City. 3 games against the Royals, our division rival, and if we win that, we would face off against the number 1 seeded Texas Rangers, who we were supposed to play last year in the playoffs, but they lost in the ALDS. 3 games at Kauffman Stadium with our season on the line. We punched our ticket into the dance, and now it's time to take advantage. Going into today, I assumed it was a 3-way race for 2 wildcard spots, but all 3 of us, the Royals, and the Guardians get in, and Seattle, who looked like a lock coming into the episode, is out. So all 4 of us in the AL Central can sing Kumbaya playing Ring Around the Rosie while Minnesota watches in the chair. You know what chair I'm talking about. So we've got some decisions to make with the roster. We've got some decisions injury-wise with Barney Wagner, the AA team officially losing in the championship. That's unfortunate. Certainly an up-and-down regular season for us, with 86 and 76 being the final mark. All things considered, though, with our struggles early in the year, this feels like a major accomplishment. 23 games over 500 since we were that mysterious 18-31. We were awesome through the end of May and June and July. A little bit dicey, though, in August and even September at times. But in our 12-game stretch today, where we needed to perform, we go 9-3, including winning 9 of our last 10 and winning 5 in a row. Over the last week and a half, we are one of the hottest teams in baseball. Our starting pitching has been excellent. And in the MLB playoffs, if you have a couple starters who are red hot, like Noah Schultz and Framber Valdez, then you are as dangerous as anyone. To me, the X factor, I think, is going to be Hayden Wesneski. He's going to pitch in Game 2 against the Royals after Framber Valdez. Wesneski's performance has been a little spotty as of late, but if we can get the Hayden Wesneski of last year, I think we've got a real shot against Kansas City in the wild card round. In the next episode, we're going to go through the entire wild card round. Game 1, Game 2, and if necessary, Game 3. So we might have a full-on triple header in the next episode, which should be a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. A new season starts in the next episode. The White Sox have miraculously defied the odds and made the postseason. But now the 86 wins we got in the regular season are wiped away. It's a clean slate. And we've got the Royals. Did I say clean slate? I'm not going to edit that out. We're at the end of the episode. I don't care enough to do that. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Peace out.